Welcome, guys, to 10 of the top 10 serial killers. And today we're going to be looking at a bunch of killers who not only killed their people, of course, but in different ways. They have all killed people in different ways. Most of them, anyway. So let's get started with our number 10, which is Eileen Wuornos. I hope I pronounced that right. The Monster. So her nickname is The Monster. Her story allowed Charlize Theron to win an Academy Award. She played Eileen in the 2003 movie Monster. While working as a prostitute, Eileen killed 7 men in Florida for the money and confessed to shooting them, claiming all of them had either raped her or attempted to rape her. She died in 1992 by lethal injection. God, she is so scary to look at. Like, look at that. Jesus. All right, let's go to our number 9. Number 9 is. Hold on one second. Ahmad Siraji, the sorcerer. He looks very scary. I cannot look at him. The cattle breeder from Indonesia admitted to killing 42 girls and women between 1986 and 1997. As a part of his ritual, he used to bury them waist-deep. Bodies were found in a sugarcane field with their heads facing his house, which he believed would give him more power. Siraji was sentenced to death by a firing squad in 2008. By a firing squad? Jeez, I've never heard of a murder like that. Let's go to our number 7. Our number 7 is the Angel of Death. It may be a cool nickname, but his story is a little bit different. So let's read about him, shall we? Alright, here we go. Charles Edmund Cullen, the Angel of Death. Coleman worked as a nurse in many hospitals, but kept switching jobs as he was fired for suspicious behavior from many of them. He confessed to murdering 40 elderly patients in New Jersey from 1984 to 2003. He did this by poisoning his patients to death with unprescribed medication. He stated that he wanted to relieve the patients from their suffering much like an angel would. Experts say he had more than 300 victims. Cullen has been imprisoned for life. So, he is still in prison right now, I think, as far as I know. And he probably won't be getting out for a while. So, let's go ahead and go to our number 6. Number 6 on our list is. Wait. Hold up. Sorry, number 7 on our list. Here's another picture of the guy. Number 7 on our list is the Zodiac Killer. So, let's talk about the Zodiac Killer. The killer fashioned this name for himself in taunting letters he sent to the Bay Area press. He left ciphers to be decoded, and out of the 4 he sent, only one was definitely solved. The killer operated in California in the late 1960s and early 1970s. His last letter said me hyphen 37 and SFPD, San Francisco Police Department. Hyphen 0. He claimed to have killed 37 victims, but the newspapers confirmed only 7. The case file is still open to this day. And as you can see on the picture, October 18th, 1969. So the file is still open. The case file is still open. And it's been almost 50 years. So if it hasn't been figured out yet, there is no way it's going to be figured out now. So, and they do not know what he looks like. They're assuming that amended drawing right there is what he looks like, but nobody actually knows who he is. And I don't think he was ever captured, which is why the case file is still open. So he could be alive still for all we know. How creepy is that? I'll let you guys think about that as we go to our number 6. This is our number 6, everybody. His nickname, which I will get to, is not something you would hear a lot, but Tsutomu Mizuyaki, the human Dracula. He got more names due to his hideous acts. Some of them were the otaku murderer, the little girl murderer, or Dracula Mizuyaki. The reason for this being that he abducted little girls, killed them, and indulged in sexual activities with their corpses. On one occasion, he not only drank the victim's blood, but ate her hand as well. He also preserved body parts as trophies and sent postcards to the families describing the murder. His father committed suicide, and Mizuyaki was hanged in 2008, aged 45. So, he might be dead, or they could be lying. And either way, let's go to number 5. Number 5 is John Wayne Gacy. Most of you already know him as Pogo the Clown, so he doesn't really need an introduction, but why not? You know? So, let's get to him. John Wayne Gacy, the Burial King. Gacy operated between 1972 and 1978 in Chicago, Illinois. He sexually assaulted and murdered 33 teenage boys and young men. Gacy would lure his victims to his home with the promise of work or money before murdering them by strangulation using a tourniquet. Tourniquet. He buried 26 of his victims in the crawl space under his house and later disposed the bodies off in the Des Plaines River. Convicted of 33 murders, Gacy was sentenced to death and spent 14 years on death row before he was executed by lethal injection on May 10th, 1994. So, Pogo the Clown is no longer alive, according to what this says, but who knows how many of these are correct or incorrect. How many of these know if these are fake or not. So, we weren't there to actually know. So yeah. I'm just saying this mostly so you get frightened. Let's go to number 4. Number 4, he doesn't need an introduction either, but we're going to get to him. So, Ted Bundy. Or not Ted. Yeah, Ted Bundy. Let's talk about him. Hold on one second. Well, Ted Bundy. Here we go. Ted Bundy, the crazy necrophile. Ted Bundy was an American serial killer, kidnapper, rapist, and necrophile. He operated in various states and the USA and confessed to killing 30 women. He revisited crime scenes and indulged in sexual acts with the corpses. Bundy decapitated at least 12 victims and kept their heads as trophies in his apartment. Something like the governor from The Walking Dead. Aged 42, Bundy died on the electric chair in 1989. His own defense attorney said Ted was the very definition of heartless evil. So his defendant basically could not defend him. Yeah, he definitely, no. It's been almost 30 years since he's been dead, or supposedly been reported as dead. Let's go to number 3. Jack the Ripper. Obviously, you guys know who Jack the Ripper is. So, let's get to it. Jack the Ripper, a.k.a. Whitechapel Murderer. The real killer's killer were never identified, so he was never identified. The name came into being because the victims had organs missing, and judging by procedure, the killer seemed to have surgical experience. Jack the Ripper, who was later believed to be a single person, killed female prostitutes in the slums of London between 1888 and 1891. And he has not been found. By now, I'm going to assume he's dead. Because if he's not dead, that's some Lucifer stuff right there. Some devil stuff. So, number 2. Jeffrey Dahmer. Obviously, a lot of you already backed up a bit because a lot of you know him as well. And there's going to be a movie coming out this year called My Friend Named Jeffrey Dahmer. So, let's talk about him. Jeffrey Dahmer, the Milwaukee Cannibal. Jeffrey Dahmer was responsible for dismembering 17 men and boys between 1978 and 1991. Dahmer also indulged in necrophilia and cooking body parts of his victim, then eating them. He was eventually caught after a prospective victim managed to overpower him. Dahmer was sentenced to 15 terms of life imprisonment in 1992, but he was beaten to death by a fellow prisoner at the Columbia Correctional Institution 2 years later. And the reason for that, which it doesn't say, is because while he was in jail, Jeffrey Dahmer would tease the people in jail about all his killing and stuff, and which eventually led to that fellow prisoner at the Columbia Correctional Institution to kill him 2 years later after he was, sentenced to prison. If he hadn't killed him, Jeffrey Dahmer probably would have gotten some kind of death penalty. He probably was already on death row, who knows. He was in life imprisonment, though, in 1992, which means even if he was still alive, he would have already been in jail for 25 years. So let's go to our number 1. Before we do, we have two nominees for the number 1 spot. We have these two right here. Sorry, I just gave away what number 1 was. This one right here is Patrick Wayne Kearney, the Trash Bag Killer. Also called the Trash Bag Killer, he operated between 1975 to 1977. Kearney had a high IQ, but once captured, he confessed to 32 murders of homosexual men. Kearney would dump their bodies along California highways and wrap them in trash bags, thus earning the name. He was convicted of 21 murders, but was sentenced to life because of his confession. So, there's a nominee right there, the Trash Bag Man. Or the Trash Bag Killer. So now you know about him. And we're going to go back even further. This one was 1975 to 77. But now it's time to go to... Sorry. The 40s. John George High, acid bath murderer. Yes. Doesn't he look creepy? Or at least like he could persuade people to do anything. Anyway, John George High was also known as the acid bath murderer and operated during the 1940s. He was convicted for the murders of 6 people, although he claimed to have killed 9. He was a professional con man who lured wealthy people by charm and deceit into a warehouse where he shot them. Later, he would dissolve their bodies in sulfuric acid and forge papers to sell their possessions and collect their life savings. He was sentenced to death and hanged in 1949. So, he obviously was an intellectual man, but obviously he wasn't smart in the sense that he shouldn't have been killing people in the first place. But he did earn a name in history called the acid bath murderer. So, let's go to our number 1, which you already saw. This is the man. God, that scared me. This man, oh, what? That really scared me. I don't know why it did. Luis Garavito the Beast. So let's get talking. Also dubbed by the media as the La Bestia, the Beast, the Colombian is probably one of the world's worst serial killers. He confessed to the torture, rape, and murder of 147 young boys, but the number is believed to be over 300. He was found guilty on 139 counts, which should amount to 1,853 years in prison. But Colombian law limits it to 30, which is what he was sentenced to in 1999. He may be released earlier for cooperation and good behavior. Oh my God. This guy killed, or he confessed to the torture, rape, and murder of 147 young boys, which that number by itself is more than my subscribers. And that's a lot. And then he's also believed to have murdered over 300. He was found guilty on 139 accounts, which should amount to 1,853 years in prison. Which means he would have been in prison for life, basically, because there was no way he was going to make it through maybe even 53 of those years. I don't think he would have made it through those even. Maybe. But Colombian law limited to 30, and he was sentenced in 1999, which means he's already served 18 years. He's only got 12 years left, and he's getting out. So everybody get ready for the year 2039, because it's going to be hectic. And he might end up getting released earlier for cooperation and good behavior, if he hasn't been released already. He's already served 18 years. See, that's even scarier. So I hope you enjoyed this list of 10 serial killers plus the 2 nominees. I might be bringing back another 10 serial killers, depending on how you view this video and like it. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to my friend, Christian Hansen, who is going to be making my intro and outro for when I hit 100 subscribers. So hope you guys enjoyed checking that out. And also, I will be releasing a couple of videos, more than what I usually release in a day for you guys once I hit the 100 subscribers. So subscribe and hit that subscribe button and like button and share, comments, and hit the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. So, bye.